Hey, what's up, guys? You know what separates people who consistently make funds in this space from people who consistently lose it? It's not information. Information is everywhere. It's the ability to tell the difference between what's real and what's been made to look real. And that skill doesn't come from reading about platforms. It comes from actually running them, putting real tokens through them, watching how they behave under different conditions, and forming an opinion based on what you personally observed rather than what someone else told you. That's been the core of how I operate for a few years now, and it's the reason I ended up spending the last weeks seriously working with the platform I've got open right now. And today I'm just going to show you exactly what that experience looks like. Then I want to close out with something I think most crypto content skips over too lightly: how to actually protect yourself when operating in this environment.
So a quick thing before I start clicking around, and I mention this because I think it matters more than it sounds. Throughout my testing period, I used this platform across 3 devices: my phone, a tablet, and my laptop. And the reason that's relevant is that the experience was identical across all 3. Same interface, same features, same responsiveness. No stripped down mobile version, no features that mysteriously disappeared depending on what I was using. All right, page is up and there's a dashboard. Everything I need to run and monitor a session sits on this single screen, nothing hidden in submenus. Okay, so first thing, I'm selecting a token. And I want to spend a beat here because this is genuinely one of the more practical strengths of this platform. It's built on multi-chain, which means right now I've got different assets in front of me to work with. And what that means day to day is that I'm always picking the token that makes the most sense for my current position rather than being boxed in by what the platform happens to support. Okay, token is locked. Next is cluster power settings. So here I set the intensity of the session, the resource depth, how hard the infrastructure pushes the overall processing profile across the duration of the run. And the reason I approach this step with actual consideration rather than just clicking through it is that these settings have a direct effect on the fee percentage at the end. So there's a real cost-benefit decision built into this. All right, session is live, console is running right here, elapsed time, resource load, and there's a live log window that I keep running throughout because it gives me real-time system-level visibility. So letting this run for about 5 minutes, then I'll walk through the withdrawal process step by step. Okay guys, session is done, and right here is the exact TRX output from this run. That's what we produced. So first thing is dropping in my receiving address. Hold on. Okay, confirmed. Next is the infrastructure fee, and that's the platform's charge, worked out from my configuration and the total runtime. And what I appreciate about how this is structured is that I know exactly what the fee is going to look like before I start. There's no ambiguity.
And something worth pointing out, I can settle it with any token I want. It's purely whatever works best for me. Everything is in, tapping confirm right here, and now we're just in processing. Should come through in a few minutes. So while that clears, I want to spend a moment explaining what cloud mining actually is, because not everyone watching this comes in with the same level of background on it. So the whole idea is built around remote infrastructure. There are professional data centers out there running industrial-grade mining hardware at scale, and what this platform does is essentially connect people to that existing computing power. A session gets configured, the infrastructure does the computational heavy lifting on the data center side, and the mined output routes directly to whatever wallet address is specified. No physical hardware involved, no electricity costs, no maintenance cycles. The operational complexity lives entirely on the infrastructure side, and what reaches the end user is just the result.
And because entry into that model looks so clean from the user side, this space has always attracted projects that are very good at building the appearance of it without any of the real infrastructure underneath. Fake projects look credible enough to pass a real first look, and they're not sitting anywhere out of the way. They're in Google, YouTube, everywhere serious people in this space already are. That presence is intentional. And what keeps this a live problem rather than a historical footnote is that this industry runs at a pace that structurally works against caution. There's always something new, always something moving fast. And that momentum creates a background pressure where slowing down to really examine something starts to feel like a mistake. The people behind bad projects understand exactly how that pressure works, and they design around it. So the one thing I hold absolutely firm on every single time, move assets into a wallet where I control the private keys and build that into my routine from the very first session as a standing default.
That single habit has protected me in ways I genuinely can't fully measure. Okay, so after weeks of testing it across different configurations, the thing that stayed with me most isn't any particular number from any particular session. It's that the experience never gave me a reason to pause and reconsider. And that might sound like a low bar until you've spent enough time testing platforms in this space to know just how rarely it actually happens. Most platforms give you something to question within the first week. A withdrawal that takes longer than it should, a fee that doesn't match what was displayed, something in the interface that stops working the way it did before. None of that happened here, and after the amount of testing I've done in this space, that kind of quiet reliability is actually the thing I value most. Thanks for watching.